Hi, I'm Lynn Farrell, Program Director with the Fry Foundation. As Chair of the CMF Board of Trustees, I'm delighted to welcome you to the CMF 49th Annual Conference. This year, we are lifting up a focus on connecting diverse voices, and that includes you. We cannot wait to welcome your perspective, your ideas, your questions, not only throughout the conference, but throughout our sector. Now more than ever, we need leaders like you who are working every day to help create a positive impact in communities across the state, working with communities, in service to communities. While we cannot be together in person, we remain a network. I hope during our time together at this conference, you will not only deepen relationships with colleagues across the state, but meet new peers, many of them. This is the power of our connection.
Hello and welcome to the 49th Annual CMF Conference. We are so excited to have you and so excited about everything we're going to learn.
Welcome to the CMF's 49th Annual Conference. A time to connect with old friends and make new ones. Let's go learn.
Welcome to the 49th Annual Conference. I can't wait to connect with you.
Hi, I'm Janae Velasquez from the Herbert H. and Grace A. Dow Foundation. It's a beautiful fall day in Michigan, and you know what that means? It's time for the CMF 49th Annual Conference. Welcome to CMF.
Hi, and welcome to the 49th Annual Council of Michigan Foundation's Annual Conference. We're glad you're here.
Welcome to CMF's 49th Annual Conference. We are so excited to host you once again. I hope you're able to reconnect with old friends and make some new connections as well.
Hello, CMF family. Welcome to our 49th Annual Conference, Connecting Diverse Voices. While this year's conference is virtual, never fear, there's going to be a lot of rich information that's shared, particularly as we hone in on our pillars of policy, people, and practice with equity at the center. I'm looking forward to learning from you and learning with you as we engage in rich dialogue during this virtual conference. And of course, I'm looking forward to the virtual hugs as well. So again, welcome, and I cannot wait to be in a Zoom room with you.
Welcome to CMF's 49th Annual Conference. I'm Patrick Harity with the Community Foundation for Northeast Michigan, and I'm thrilled you're able to participate this year. I hope you find the conference both valuable and enjoyable. Welcome.
Our conference is an opportunity to learn from each other and from some of philanthropy's most impactful leaders. Let's enjoy these next few days together.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for the 49th Annual Conference. We're glad you're here.
Hi, I'm Leslie Young, the Program Associate at the Wegge Foundation. Welcome to the 49th Annual CMF Conference. We're glad that you're here.
Thank you for attending the 49th Annual Conference. Can't wait to see you on screen.
Greetings from Saginaw, Michigan on this amazingly beautiful fall day. My name is Renee Johnston, President and CEO of the Saginaw Community Foundation and a proud CMF trustee. I welcome you to the CMF 49th Annual Conference, Connecting Diverse Voices. I truly hope you enjoy every moment of participation.
Hi, and welcome to Annual Conference. We are delighted to have you here, and I look forward to meeting some of you in sessions and at the Learning to Give booth. So welcome, and we look forward to lots of great conversation and new learning together.
Hi, this is Sakura Takano of Rotary Charities of Traverse City and the Conference Planning Committee. We hope you enjoy the 49th Annual CMF Conference.
Welcome to the Council of Michigan Foundation's 49th Annual Conference. Let's all learn and get inspired together. See you in session soon.
Hi everyone, welcome to this year's 49th Annual Conference, Connecting Diverse Voices. I hope you enjoy everything we have in store for you.
Welcome to CMF's 49th Annual Conference. We're so glad you're here.
Angela, it is so great to see you. It's been so long since we've been together.
It sure has, Jonathan. And it's been too long since we've been together with all of you.
So from the grounds of the Fetzer Institute in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where we're helping build the spiritual foundation for a loving world,
we welcome you to this year's 49th Annual Council of Michigan Foundations Conference.
Hello. I'm Kyle Caldwell, President and CEO of the Council of Michigan Foundations.
I'm excited to join the Board of Trustees and the CMF team in welcoming you to the CMF 49th Annual Conference. Throughout this year's conference, you'll be hearing from Michigan philanthropy colleagues in Southwest Michigan, our region of focus for 2021. While we can't be together in person this year, we nonetheless are excited to embrace the Southwest Michigan community during this virtual experience. I share this message of welcome while standing in Kalamazoo's Bronson Park, a key gathering place for picnics, concerts, and other local events. This is also the former site of a statue called the Fountain of Pioneers that depicted an armed settler standing over a Native American in headdress. The 80-year-old statue was relocated in 2018 after years of debate ultimately resulted in a petition for its removal and action by city leaders, a move some identified as a step towards racial healing. Now, 3 years after the statue's removal, a new underground surveying on the land has resulted in the discovery of what experts believe was a Native American ceremonial site. The city is now planning to preserve the site as a historical space honoring Indigenous peoples. This story offers a unique perspective on the power of connecting diverse voices. There have been years of divide on the statue, like many around the country, that have been at this tension point of history, art, and the trauma of racism. Through civil discourse, a decision was reached that, while not supported by all, created a more inclusive space in the community while supporting future conversation and reflection. As we continue to advance our understanding of the dimensions of equity and justice, I'd like to take this moment to offer a land acknowledgement, grounded in this region of Michigan. A land acknowledgement is one way of illuminating the ongoing presence of Indigenous people and counter narratives to settler colonialism. We acknowledge that within our Michigan community of philanthropy, we occupy ancestral, traditional, and contemporary homelands of many Indigenous nations, including the Odawa and Potawatomi tribes. We recognize and support the sovereignty of Michigan's 12 federally recognized Indian nations for historic Indigenous communities in Michigan, for Indigenous individuals and communities who live here now, and for those who were forcibly removed from their homelands. We will work to hold ourselves accountable to the needs of American Indian and Indigenous peoples. We are committed to bringing Native American voices to the forefront and to celebrating and telling the histories and contemporary experiences of Native American people. We are grateful to Michigan philanthropy colleagues from the Pokagon Fund and the Pokagon Band of Potawatomi Language Culture Team for providing the resource you'll find in the annual conference platform that shares more information about land acknowledgements. You'll also find a resource to help identify the Indigenous nation's homeland where your own residence or office is located. In our partnership with the Native Justice Coalition's Decolonizing Philanthropy Advisory Council, we'll be continuing to explore how our sector must address systemic injustice and racism through the lens of supporting Native communities. As we strive to build inclusive environments, I invite you to reflect on your relationships with Native American communities. Consider the ways your organization can strengthen connections with Native tribes in your community and support Indigenous peoples as we engage in the relentless pursuit of inclusive diversity and equitable systems. This conference is a critical milestone in our shared equity journey over the course of the last 3 years. Together, we have engaged in an ongoing dialogue on what equity means to our community of philanthropy. We have explored how to build truly inclusive environments, and now we're building on those conversations to examine how we can authentically go deeper in connecting diverse voices. This is the challenge and opportunity before us. Philanthropy serves as a thread in the complicated tapestry of life in Michigan. Trustees, staff, donors, and our nonprofit partners are part of a rich and robust network that has touch points in every community across the state. When we collaborate, when we share our successes and our struggles, and listen to those of our peers, we're connecting diverse voices. When we engage in common strategies to grow our impact in communities, we're connecting diverse voices. And when we serve as a convener to bridge divides and support healing and shared understanding, we're connecting diverse voices. If we want to see communities across Michigan thrive and thrive equitably, our call to action is clear. This is the time to deepen relationships, to grow partnerships, to excel at collaboration, not just as a short-term strategy, but as a way of working. I firmly believe that the last nearly 20 months of this global pandemic have shown important lessons. First, crises exacerbate inequities. Disparities that have existed for generations and systems of oppression that have been institutionalized in our nation's structures and policies become all the more apparent. Second, we have the power to positively impact, change the conditions, systems, and institutions that perpetuate inequities, like systemic racism. Third, by collaborating and leading, our impact grows. Finally, once you see inequities, you cannot unsee them. We all have the responsibility for engaging in effective and impactful equity learning journeys to address them. Throughout this year's conference, I hope you will feel that we have created an environment where you can put yourself in connection with many new peers and partners to further explore your own and our collective equity journeys. From our main stage events to breakout sessions and programming, from our networking spaces to the special showcase event you'll see this evening, I hope you will also connect with many new ideas and perspectives. We are committed to ensuring this virtual conference models what it means to build inclusive environments. We have strengthened accessibility and community building components, ranging from closed captioning and sign language interpreters for main stage events, to personalized one-on-one technical support available throughout the entire live conference. We have also shared a set of agreements that we ask all attendees and speakers to honor as we strive to create virtual spaces where everyone is welcomed, encouraged to listen openly and speak honestly, and treated with respect as we engage in a dialogue together. Thank you for your leadership and the unique voice you bring to this conference and to our CMF community of philanthropy.
Hello, I'm Rick Huey, Executive Vice President and CEO of the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation. My colleague, Gilmore Vice President Program, Carol Snap, and I have been pleased to join with our region's counterparts in serving on this year's annual conference host committee. You'll be hearing from this committee's various members throughout the conference. Since their inception, CMF annual conferences have brought together and engaged hundreds of participants at venues across this beautiful state of Michigan. The plan for 2020, of course, was to present the conference in Kalamazoo. And suddenly, there it was, the COVID-19 pandemic. Fortunately, CMF made a courageous call, pivoting to the Council's very first virtual annual conference. That decision was absolutely the right one to make, but it also presented myriad challenges. Indeed, many of us wondered how CMF could plan and execute a virtual conference with all of the inherent complexities and complications in so little time and with no previous experience in this realm. Not only did the Council make it work, but indeed, the conference was presented with aplomb and elan. Heading into 2021, we all hoped that the annual conference would return to Kalamazoo in person this fall. Alas, that was not to be. In fact, keeping health and safety as the number one priority, this year's conference remains fully virtual. However, as we've all learned over the last 18 months, our distance has not been a hurdle. Indeed, that distance has served us well as a stepping stone toward the discovery of new and innovative ways for us to connect and stay connected. Clearly, the pandemic has been both turbulent and troubling, but through what could have been insurmountable challenges, our partners in the arts and at nonprofits across the state have stepped up and leaned in to sustain, strengthen, encourage, and uplift our communities. You have adapted and pivoted. You have inspired us, and you have moved us. Those of us that are aware of your work are deeply grateful, and it has been our great and true pleasure to collaborate with you, to create with you, and to support your leadership. You have been on the front lines. You have done the heavy lifting. It has been our honor to assist you. As we kick off our 2021 annual conference, I have the distinct pleasure of welcoming you to this evening's special event, a showcase of Southwest Michigan. This program has been designed to introduce and connect you to the incredible work of nonprofits and the arts in Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, and other neighboring communities. I also have the honor of introducing the MC for tonight's event, Yolonda Lavender, the Stryker Johnston Foundation's Grant Program Manager, an individual with manifold talents, wide-ranging skill sets, and someone who has demonstrated imaginative, creative, and innovative leadership. Yolonda has challenged us with her provocative thinking and encouraged us to develop fresh perspectives. As a result, our community and the broader philanthropic sector have benefited. Yolonda also runs Soul Artistry LLC, an arts consulting company that specializes in experience curating, artistry development, arts, nonprofit, and self-care consulting, providing artists with opportunities to showcase their artistry and to ensure that creatives are compensated for their craft. Yolonda partnered with the CMF team to connect with the regional artists you'll be seeing this evening and throughout the conference. And this Kalamazoo native is also herself a fantastic performing artist. With our first performance of this evening, please join me in a virtual round of applause for Yolonda Lavender, singing an original song, Kalamazoo.
There's a place beneath the stars, beautiful waters, beauty at large. Come and see, bet it blows your mind. We're waiting for you, this is where dreamers can dream. Super Bowl champions, American Idols, World Series shortstops who play for New York. And while you're here, come take a load off and go into downtown. The lights and the action, the flashy attractions. This is where movies are made. This is why we are cool. In Kalamazoo, this is why we are cool. In Kalamazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. In Kalamazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. In Kalamazoo. Just take a minute, let me take you there. Don't be scared of lions, tigers, and bears. The ambience is heaven sent, cool enough for the president. The people innovating, Southwest Michigan, you're amazing. And this is why we are cool. In Kalamazoo, this is why we are cool. In Kalamazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. In Kalamazoo, zoo, 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 zoo. In Kalamazoo.
Good evening, I'm Yolonda Lavender. You just saw my performance of Kalamazoo, an original song produced by A Chick with Beats and written by DC, both internationally known artists hailing from Kalamazoo. You'll hear more from DC again later in the evening. Thank you to Rick Huey for the awesome introduction he shared. I had the pleasure of serving with Rick and Carol Snap on the 2021 Annual Conference Host Committee, along with my colleague Megan Johnston from the Stryker Johnson Foundation, Brenda Hunt of the Battle Creek Community Foundation, Carrie Pickett Irway of the Kalamazoo Community Foundation, Faye Nelson of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, and Angela Graham and Jonathan Lever of the John E. Fetzer Institute. On behalf of all of us, I welcome you to this virtual showcase of Southwest Michigan. I'm excited to serve as your MC this evening. Together, we'll enjoy a night of dance, music, inspiration, and sharing as we join from across the state with partners near and far for the CMF 49th Annual Conference. For those watching this event live, I encourage you to use the live chat. Tell us who you're watching the showcase with this evening. Give a shout out when you hear something that you love. Share a question or a reflection as you listen to the folks featured tonight. Or just hello to your CMF colleagues, as we know the last year plus has been tough and sometimes isolating, to say the very least. But we are stronger together. Our sector, philanthropy, and nonprofits, we're stronger together, we're better together. Over the last 19 to 20 months, we've been faced with words like uncertainty, challenge, alone, impossible. In partnership, we're finding our way towards words like dream, create, innovate, engage, include, possible. All over the country and around our home state of Michigan, this is a journey we are making together. I'm elated to now introduce to you some of the partners who we have the pleasure of working beside and some of the many talented artists who shine in Southwest Michigan.
My name is Rosemary Linares, and I am the co-coordinator for the Battle Creek Coalition for Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation.
Hi, my name is Amy Cookta, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Southwest Michigan.
Hello, my name is Rahima Barber. I am the Chief Curator of the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts.
My name is Brian Zocker. I'm the Director of Kalamazoo Reese's Education for the Arts, better known as EFA.
I'm Tara East, and I am the Executive Director of the Chef Therapeutic Writing Center in Augusta, Michigan.
I'm Dina Spencer. I am one of the co-presidents of Battle Creek Pride.
My name is Adrian Vasquez. I'm the Executive Director of El Concilio here in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
My name is Candace Lavender, and I am the Executive Director for Read and Write Kalamazoo.
So I'm Amanda Feitner, and I'm the Nutrition Programs Manager with the South Michigan Food Bank.
I'm Danielle Hetrick. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a Community Impact Coordinator with the South Michigan Food Bank.
So TRHT was an initiative birthed out of the Kellogg Foundation in 2017, and there are 14 sites across the country that span from Alaska, Los Angeles, Dallas, Chicago, Buffalo, and other sites, as well as 4 sites in Michigan. So there's Battle Creek, Lansing, Kalamazoo, and Flint. So in the Battle Creek Coalition for TRHT, our mission is to catalyze a movement for racial equity in our local area in the Battle Creek region. And our theory of change is that to operationalize this mission, the community members will be embedding the principles of truth, racial healing, and transformation in their day-to-day lives. It's hard to narrow down one thing that I'm most proud of in terms of the work that we've been doing for TRHT in Battle Creek, but I think that 2 stories highlight really what stands out to me in terms of the personal impact this work has had in my life, but also just the community in terms of creating the transformation that we hope to see. The first is we did an evaluation survey, and one of the respondents said that pretty much their entire friend circle came out of the work of TRHT. And knowing that most of us didn't know each other before we started, and now seeing how we have these deep, trusting, cross-race relationships that are really rooted in authentic friendship is something that's really beautiful to me, because I think that encapsulates part of what racial healing is towards the transformation of recognizing our shared common humanity through friendship and relationship. And so the second piece I would say that I'm really excited about is the work that we've been doing to build coalitions and convenings around organizations that are community-based and led by and accountable to Black, Indigenous people of color. And so there's been a lot of work that TRHT has done in partnership with many other organizations, including another initiative out of the Kellogg Foundation called Catalyzing Community Giving in Battle Creek, to build new tables around solidarity and shared goals to transform the systems in which we operate, looking at healthcare, education, employment opportunities related to entrepreneurship, food systems, and so much more. And so some of the work we've done with TRHT has been to build these new tables and connect with the Black, Latinx, Burmese, Narosepihiran and Band of Potawatomi led organizations and groups as we're building trust and slowly building relationships in Battle Creek across racial and ethnic difference with our shared goals in mind. We've been able to speed up and accelerate the progress that we want to continue seeing and growing.
Are you ready for the next performance? I can't wait for you to see the incredible talent of Rooted's Rhythm Life Collective. The Rooted Enrichment Center offers healing arts and birth work programs that are diverse, inclusive, anti-racist, and trauma-informed. All of the services they provide are available at low to no cost. Their healing arts programs are intentionally designed to be generative or trauma-reducing and somatic or body-based. Rhythm Life Collective is Rooted's group of youth performers training in traditional West African drumming and dancing. Throw some hearts in the chat and welcome Rhythm Life Collective.
So the South Michigan Food Bank's mission is to enhance the quality of life for those struggling with hunger in South Michigan. We cover 8 counties in our service area, which include Berry, Kalamazoo, St. Joseph, Calhoun, Branch, Hillsdale, Lenawee, and Jackson. And to serve these counties, we partner with 300 local agencies to distribute food through food pantries, soup kitchens, and fresh food distributions. We're finding our fresh food distributions are not only a great way to get food out into their communities, but it's a great way to get fresh items. Since 2020, we've increased our distribution of fresh fruits and vegetables by 145%.
So through COVID, we've modified our distributions to meet the heightened need, and we began boxing up more foods than we ever have before here at the food bank and distributing them through a drive-through model, which allowed us to still distribute food while the need was high, while still keeping people safe and keeping them fed. So our drive-through model removes the need for people to congregate inside or in lines to keep everyone safe during distributions. In 2020, we distributed a record-breaking 14.6 million pounds of food here at South Michigan Food Bank, which was up 60% from the year prior.
Prior to COVID, we were kind of handling a lot of that food and distributing fresh veggies and stuff in these big shipping containers called Gaylords. Then the food pantries and stuff would distribute that in a walk-through sort of way where we really get to talk to people and make relationships. Unfortunately, with the safety, we couldn't do that. So we did these pre-packaged boxes full of fresh items. They have about 20 pounds of produce in there. And overnight, our volunteers had to pack those. So we went from volunteers only handling about 25% of the food. And as Amanda said, now there's 75% of the food. So our volunteers are packing these foods in boxes, and then we're distributing them in a drive-through model to make sure that everybody is being safe. It really starts with our founding director, Bob Randles, who started the South Michigan Food Bank with the goal of inclusion and making sure that all of the people that we're serving in our 8 counties had access to food. His dream to remove the barriers that prevented people from having access to healthy and nutritious food is something that we are still working on and something that we are all still very passionate about today. We know that for us personally, building trust and building relationships in the communities we serve is critical to our DEI work. So recently, we've added several positions that go out into the community to do just that. They're talking with community members and community leaders to have a better understanding of the needs in that area and how we can partner and collaborate to best serve them. We know that ending hunger isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, and that's also not true equity. And so we're really working and listening with those partners so that they can identify the needs and then partner with us to address those needs.
El Concilio has been in Kalamazoo since 1981, and it has developed or has grown so much to become El Concilio. It was a community group it started as a community group to ensure that there was support for Hispanic families back in the 80s, and then it went to become an official nonprofit in 83. In the organization, as now, it's been doing the same work, supporting Latinx families, Hispanic in the community to ensure, they have all the support that they need. So yeah. So, Concilio, I know we focus on a specific community that has been, left behind, has been, forgotten in so many programs and so many supports. So the thing that we do, we, as we work in unity and collaboration with other organizations, we bring that power of the, equality or equity, diversity, inclusion to their programs, to their supports. Because, as an organization, we are just one organization in this area in Kalamazoo County. We work with many other, Hispanic, Latino organizations in the area, but we all focus, in our community, but we can't, do everything. So what we do, like I said, collaborations, partnerships, and ensure that they learn how they can best serve our community. If they can, create a program to our community, then we'll help them develop that ability or that possibility to serve our community, as an organization that we are, bilingual, but in so many now cases we're multilingual because we not just serve Hispanics, we serve different community that come from different places. And the last, like I said, 3 years I've been here, we, been serving not just Latinos, we serving people come from Asia, come from India, because at this moment we're the only organization that, serves our migrant community or immigrant community in the area. So many communities, if they're not part of the Hispanic Latinx community, they feel very welcome here because, they know that we understand the struggle of not being from this country and needed that little support for them to, grow or, move to a new home or get that next, new job. So as a community, as an organization in the community, we help, we do all our work is focused on diversity. Our work is focused on equity and being inclusion. But we help other organizations to do that work. And like I said, a lot of them have, answered our call, have worked with us. And that's how we're becoming a better community, a better village to, build a more united community for everybody.
You just heard from Adrian Vasquez, Executive Director of El Concilio, whose work includes culture-based programs. I'm now excited to invite you to view a folkloric dance ensemble from El Concilio's Danza Folklorica, an after-school program for kids and youth from 3 to 15 years old that offers a space for them to connect with their heritage and culture. Danza supports their growth in socio-emotional aspects, such as confidence, active learning, practice group process skills, interdependent roles, and positive behavior management style. Please join me in a virtual round of applause for Danza Folklorica.
Cuando me traes a mi negra, que la quiero ver aquí, con su rebozo de seda, que le traje de Tepic. Cuando me traes a mi negra, que la quiero ver aquí, con su rebozo de seda, que le traje de Tepic.
EFA actually came about from a Council of Foundations conference that the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation was at, that so inspired them to bring an arts-centric comprehensive program to Kalamazoo County, that they started and helped fund a committee to search out the best arts education programs in the country. And through probably about a 2 or 3 year process, they landed on what is now EFA, and EFA started operations in 1988 as a program with artist residencies in schools and a single countywide arts education high school class. So EFA's mission, quite simply, is to champion accessibility to high quality arts education for all K-12 students in Kalamazoo County. And what that looks like today is really kind of 3 major pockets of work. One, high school classes that are open to students throughout the county. Then we do a lot of artist residency work in K-8 and special education and alternative ed programs. And then we have a large and robust EFA Presents program where we work with local presenters and local arts organizations and also national arts groups to bring extremely high quality performance art opportunities and visual art opportunities for our students to see. We're also blessed, lastly, to have a re-granting program through the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, in which we've got funds for individual students to participate in arts camps, have mentorships, but also for their teachers. And that's basically what EFA does throughout the year. I'm proud to say that we have grown one of our own, even though we didn't know it. We had our choreographer in our advanced musical theater class moved on to a full-time teaching position, and we have a young man, Esteban Kaiser, who is a Kalamazoo Central grad and a Promise recipient, who went through our advanced musical theater class just as a lark, and it was something that grabbed him, and it was something that he wanted to do, and he ended up using his Promise scholarship to go through Western Michigan University's musical theater program. And we are just so pleased to have him now as our choreographer for that advanced musical theater class, and not only bringing everything that he brings to the class, but just having that history of a young man who didn't necessarily see himself in the arts, but found himself and found his voice and found his passion.
The Chef Therapeutic Writing Center started in 1969 in Augusta, Michigan. We are the first therapeutic writing center in the nation. We run about 125 special needs clients through our gates every single week. We specialize, we are very mission-based. We only take care of people with special needs. That being said, our goal is to improve on their life. We have a PT that services here, and we have therapeutic writing instructors. We work with addiction, we work with veterans, we work with writing clients, hippotherapy as our PT. We have summer camps. We have a read and write program for children that are reading below grade level in 1st and 2nd grade that is proven to actually work really well. It brings them up to the grade level and carries them on through school. We've done 2 studies on that, and it works really well. We have ground programs for clients that do not qualify to ride a horse but may need movement therapy. So we bring them in and we work with them on the ground with our horses, maybe brushing or leading, whatever we can do to make their life a little better. if you are in need of anything, Southwest Michigan is the place to be. I have never been exposed to so many caring people that like to help you out. You just don't see it, and it crosses all genres and all things wrong. If you have a problem, Kalamazoo or Western Michigan is a place to be because there's always somebody there to help you. You can't find a better group of clients. They walk in the doors every single day smiling. They're happy to be here, and they're really thrilled when they're done. They just love it here. So I think it's just a feel-good type place to work and be and watch our community improve.
Isn't the work of these nonprofits amazing? I hope for those who are watching live, you're engaging together in the chat as you hear from these exceptional leaders and hear their stories. We are so fortunate in Michigan to have a strong ecosystem of partners in the arts, education, social justice, civic engagement, mental and physical health, and so much more. As you've heard tonight, our region is also blessed with partners who bring education and culture together. The next event in our showcase features Kalamazoo Chinese Academy, a nonprofit educational organization dedicated to providing Chinese language and cultural experience to youth from all cultural, racial, and ethnic backgrounds in the greater Kalamazoo area. They aim to bridge the culture gap and increase understanding between the local community and Chinese culture. Their goal is to prepare students for meaningful and successful participation in a global environment. From your home, your office, your backyard, or wherever you may be around the globe, please join me in extending a warm welcome to the Kalamazoo Chinese Academy.
So our organization is an all-volunteer organization. We were established in 2010 as just a small social group of people getting together and just enjoying each other's company. And over the years, it has transitioned and developed into a nonprofit with a board and leadership roles and things like that. So our mission is just to provide referral services and to just to support the Battle Creek LGBTQ population. So we're just an organization of LGBTQ people in the greater Battle Creek area. I am currently working with different organizations in doing several meetings and offering additional programming and creating actual partnerships, not just saying, oh yes, we know so-and-so and we work with them. Well, how do you work with them? Now we're gonna start putting together some tangible things that we actually can say, we work with the food bank in this way. We work with the art center in this way. They do this for us, we do this for them. And creating those real partnerships. The first commitment is to continue our own education, right? We don't know what we don't know, and we can't ever know it if we're not willing to go out and seek the information and to learn, which means because we are all volunteer and we all work full-time jobs, it's really hard for us to do a formal training that is required by the board. So we encourage each of our board members to do their own trainings at their own, time commitments, whether that means, checking out some master classes, whether that means signing up for local trainings that are going on here. And we have a lot of racial equity trainings that happen here in Battle Creek, a lot of great organizations that really do a big focus on that. But to just learn, and our board is pretty good about doing those on our own and learning those things. But we also recognize that diversity isn't just about racial equity either. We have a person on our board right now who is a disabled person, and we've never had a disabled person on our board until this year, and she brings so much to the table that we don't even realize that maybe we have fallen short on in the past. Like, she's just brought things forward that says, hey, have you ever thought about this? Did you know that, when you do this, this happens for people like me? And so that has just really been eye-opening and such a breath of fresh air for us. We have people on our board that range anywhere from almost poverty level up to people that are very comfortable in their lives, financially speaking. We have a multi-racial person on our board. We have a transgender person on our board. That doesn't mean that we tokenize somebody and sit them on our board because they check a box. That's not diversity. That's looking pretty on a piece of paper. And we want to make sure that we are not doing that as well, that we are inviting people to the table and opening up those doors for the right reasons. So we just continue to learn as much as we can and to grow and to just keep moving forward and doing the best that we can do.
Well, here at the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts, we believe that art is for everyone, that they inspire, transform, and fulfill. We have a variety of public programs and other offerings for learners of all ages, presenting exhibitions, programs, and classes, a variety of classes for everyone here in Kalamazoo in the Southwest Michigan region. Well, diversity, equity, inclusion, and access are a part of everything that we do here at the Kalamazoo Institute of Arts. Recently, we reinstalled our permanent collection, and within that new presentation, this new formation of that, we have more women artists represented. I want to say approximately 40% more women artists and almost 50% more artists of color are represented within our presentation. Because for us, we really feel quite a bit of responsibility to not only our community, but our field, to be telling the diverse stories that make up the American experience. And we are a rich and multifaceted community and culture, and so we want to make sure that we reflect that in all the work that we do, and that can be seen in our programs as well and our classes. Wow, success for us looks like continuing to partner with our community, continuing to partner with other organizations within our community, and continuing to foster a sense of pride in the arts here in Kalamazoo, the arts in the Southwest Michigan region, and also supporting artists in our community and continuing the work that we do each day here with our partners and with you.
Thank you so much for your time and attention, as you heard from our friends and colleagues in Kalamazoo, Battle Creek, Augusta, and beyond. As we celebrate the power of connecting diverse voices, I hope at the end of this showcase, when you close your laptop or power down your tablet, you come away inspired by their leadership, creativity, and commitment to equity, to youth voice, to honoring culture and heritage, to community. Remember, we're stronger together, we're better together. Were you at the annual conference in October 2019 when we were in Traverse City? In a ballroom on a Tuesday afternoon, the Kalamazoo poet Great Dane shared their poem, We're Better Together. It opens with this line: "No better way to be found than to discover ourselves together." I hope you discovered a new piece of yourself tonight. And now we're going to hear from the last of our nonprofit leaders and close with a final powerful performance. You will not want to miss this. Thank you.
So the purpose of the program is really to pair youth with mentors in a one-on-one relationship so that the kids can have new opportunities and new experiences. The role of the BIG is just to be a consistent, additional caring role model, spending consistent time with their littles so that they can grow and develop into the adult that they want to be. We provide a lot of ideas for activities, we provide discounts, free tickets. Really what we're asking of volunteers is that they spend quality time with their little. And it shouldn't be about the money, but it should be about the relationship and the time together. We're committed to moving our DEI work forward, and we're doing that in a number of ways. We have an agency inclusion committee that provides training and materials every month to the staff. The committee is in the process of looking at some of our agency policies and guidelines with a DEI lens to make sure that equity is embedded in everything we do. We're very focused on partnering with marginalized communities. We do have a program called Big Pride, where we intentionally match LGBTQ youth with LGBTQ adults, because that's, as we know, for LGBTQ youth, the rates of depression and suicide are much higher. So it's critical for them to have an adult who really understands how they're navigating their identity in their space. We have a monthly feature highlighting local Black heroes. We think it's important for people to understand and know about the amazing people who are in our community, and it's really a chance to lift up the great work that is being done. And additionally, the Brothers Big Sisters of America is in the middle of rolling out its new strategic plan, and our goal is to become the #1 Jedi-focused youth-serving organization in America. So we will be providing tons of training opportunities for our bigs, activities for our littles, making sure that the work is moving forward and that diversity, equity, and inclusion is embedded in everything we do for our kids and families. You know, when I think about our community, I'm most proud of our kids. They're amazing and incredible and resilient. Day after day, I get to hear stories about the impact our program is having on them, how much they enjoy the relationship, how their confidence is growing, how they're doing better in school. So absolutely, first and foremost, proud of our kids. also extremely proud of our volunteers. These are people who care about kids and give of their time and their expertise and interest to help kids further develop into the adult that they're going to become. So absolutely proud of our volunteers. And then, of course, really proud and thankful for all of our supporters. We receive a great deal of financial support from the community, from individuals, from foundations, from corporations. Battle Creek and Kalamazoo is a very philanthropic community, and I feel very fortunate that so many people feel passionate enough about our mission to help support us.
We're passionate about amplifying the voices of youth in Kalamazoo County. And so all of our work is centered around hearing stories and experiences from youth in the community, and then activating their stories in real time, meaning, putting it into published work or any other ways that youth can feel that their voices and their stories matter. We also are intentional in our partnerships at KPS. And so we are partnering with 3 schools in the Kalamazoo Public Schools District to facilitate readers' rooms in school, which offers support to students and teachers in the areas of reading and writing. And so students come to see us to, again, share their stories, to write about their stories, to get support on various work projects that they have going on in school, and just to be a support system in the school, hands-on, collaborating and working with teachers and leaders at the various schools in order to support students in their reading and writing abilities. I feel that I'm most proud, and again, this is like a whole new lens for me being an executive director. I've only been in this position for about 4 months, and seeing already the level of community support. My first week, the Douglas Community Center executive director, or KidNet, or even receiving emails from the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation and United Way and Stryker Johnston, all of these foundations that reached out to me and just wanted to get to know me and wanted to kind of understand my journey that led me to Read and Write Kalamazoo. And I just thought that was so opposite of the stories that I've heard about foundations and, some of those like not war stories, but really those a little more negative experiences. I was proud of my city when I was just welcomed with open arms in this role, seeking, organizations and foundations seeking the ways that they could support me, just getting familiar and acclimated with this role, what it meant to, fill out for a grant, and, coming in during the grant, the fiscal year, better understanding what reporting looked like, and, how a lot of the foundations are transitioning to more relationship building. I respect that as a Kalamazoo community member, and I appreciate that as an executive director, that there is an emphasis on relationship building, that yes, you can sit and give me this really long, extensive report, but we also want to have a conversation about how things are going. What aha moments, as my mentor talks about, what aha moments happened through the course of the fiscal year? How was money being spent and utilized to uplift the community in Kalamazoo? And so there's really deep intention among foundations and organizations in this nonprofit work that really have the interest of Kalamazoo at heart. And that's something to be proud of. I definitely want to, pull from colleagues of mine, Gabe Jerome and Kirk Latimer, who I did a lot of work with in their organization, Speak It Forward, and partnering with them. And one thing that they continually let students know is that every voice matters. And so when we think about stories and our experiences, while they are very different, the similarity is that it needs to be told. Stories are reflections of our journey, and they need to be told. And we are inspired often by other people's stories and, their strength and resiliency when we hear where they've come from and the journey that has led them to the present day. And so when I think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, specific to the work that Rock does, it's really centered around creating space for all stories to be told and honored and highlighted, so that young people specifically understand that where they are now, that they don't have to be adults and working as much as we do and paying bills, and you hear those phrases that are told to young people, where it's sending the message that your value comes when you start working and contributing to society, and that they're really at a place where at birth their contributions begin in the way that they bring joy and experiences and share their experiences with others, that it's an inspiration. And so to allow for the diversity of the narrative, to include every story in the publishing work that we do, and to give students an opportunity to stand at, whether it's our Rock the Block party or summer camp events, where students have the opportunity to share their work in front of their community. So it's not us just taking their stories and keeping them to ourselves, but presenting also an opportunity for them to share their work in order to be heard, seen, affirmed, and recognized in the community in which they live.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Kalamazoo to wherever you are. Seems like everybody's got a price. I wonder how they sleep at night. When the sale comes first and the truth comes second, just stop for a minute and smile. Why is everybody so serious? Acting so mysterious. Got shades on your eyes and your heels so high, can't even have a good time. Everybody look to the left, hey. Now everybody look to their right. Can you feel that? Yeah. We paying with love tonight. Not about your money, but we can use your money. We can make the world dance. Forget about that price tag. Ain't about that cha-ching, ain't about that, oh yeah. Bling, bling, make the world dance. Forget the price tag. We need to take this back in time, when music made us all unite. And it wasn't no blows and these videos though, am I the only one getting tired? Why is everybody so obsessed? Money can't buy us happiness. All settle down and they need to enjoy right now. Guarantee we be feeling all right. Everybody look to the left, hey. Now everybody look to their right. Y'all feel that? Michigan, we paying with love tonight. Not about your money. We don't need your money, but we wanna make the world dance. Forget about that price tag. Ain't about that cha-ching, ain't about that oh yeah. Bling, wanna make the world dance. Forget the price tag. I'm an American fiend, got American screens. Look at how they have our American dream. Ain't no picket fences, it ain't all what it seems. They only got me on the bench of the part of the team, so yeah, I still feel something like a hostage. Working 9 to 5 so the government can't profit, so I spend so my people can gain knowledge. Hope I work for you from your innocent bondage like a captive soul. Grasp a hold. I ain't scared of dying, I'm just scared of getting old. In this world so cold, slaves bought and sold. History in the making that reveals my little self. Mr. President, what it is we fighting for? So just crying from the sky, I think it's about to pour. But let it rain on me. And I sing like the tea for shouting unity. It's not about your money. It's not about the money. We gonna make the world dance. It ain't about that. Cha-ching, ain't about that, oh yeah. Blink, gotta make the world dance. Forget the price tag.
there's only 24 hours in the day. And so ways to create systems where philanthropy can truly support nonprofit leaders in doing their work have, I think, grown in the past. And there's a lot of opportunity and invitation for foundations and funders and donors to think about new ways to continue and deepen that flexibility and openness to how to get resources to the people who need them the fastest without too much bureaucratic barriers and burden.
We always are encouraging people to donate whatever they can, whether that's their time, talent, or treasure to our local areas. And of course, we would love to host you here. We can promise it'll be a fun time packaging fresh food boxes. So if you ever wanted to come out here for a tour and see what we're about, volunteer, or again, donate that time, talent, or treasure, we would welcome you with open arms.
Reach out, learn about who's in the community. If there's a next organization nearby your community, talk to them. See how you can best serve everybody.
Particularly, in our transition out of COVID, it's very easy to say, we don't have time for the arts. They're a frill that are great to have when times are good, but right now times are tough, and we've got to focus on the basics of education. And to that, I would say the arts are foundational and basic.
I would encourage you to feel free to call the Chef Center or look up writing centers, therapeutic writing centers near your town, and go visit one. It's a life changer. We all know that dogs are therapeutic and horses are therapeutic, but when you see it in action, when you see what it does to the veteran or to the senior citizen or to a child, it's life-changing, and you'll realize that this stuff really, really works.
So my hope would be people watching this video are inspired and excited by our mission, and I guess what I would ask is please consider becoming a volunteer. No matter which location you live in, there are branches all over the country, and what I can say is every agency does need more volunteers, and we're waiting and would welcome you coming forward.
People have so many stigmas about who we are, and I always say we're just like everybody else. We go to work, we pay our bills, we take care of our kids. We have to go figure out who's carpooling where and what time. We got to go home and take care of the dogs and cook dinner, just like the rest of the world.
Continuing to partner with our community, continuing to partner with other organizations within our community, and continuing to foster a sense of pride in the arts here in Kalamazoo, the arts in the Southwest Michigan region, and also supporting artists in our community.
Every single person, I'm sure, on this call has a niece, a nephew, some sort of nibbling, as they say, or a youth at your church or next door. And really, it's important, and I always try to make this message, to grab their hand, look them in the eye, even if it's every day that you see them, to say hello and ask them how they're doing. Make space for them in line at the grocery store, acknowledge them, because it really takes more than just showing up to volunteer. It's really an everyday practice that we need to have when we're talking about engaging and uplifting the next generation that's going to come and take care of us.